Right. Question 6 to 10. This is looking at the use, if you like, of computer aided techniques, if you like, within audit. So this use of automation, and I can imagine this becoming more and more popular in exam questions because we are entering that space, aren't we? So of course you have read the question, Porthos. Um, if you like, this is really looking at their revenue system. A lot of the stuff is done online. And what we're doing here is we have decided to use these computer assisted um, automated techniques, and we have decided to carry out the following procedures. So we will place an order with a negative amount to see if the system can react. So we are dealing with the system here. So this is a system test, right? So this is us throwing dummy data or test data into the system to see whether the data can react. Here we are literally then digging into the data to draw out information that we need, almost like fangs, if you like. So Excel could be enough really, where we will import out of the system into Excel and then analyze. And we are throwing false data to see if the system reacts. And again, we're pushing the system. So these are all system based, right? And this is the actual software that we're and the actual material, the data we're looking at. And depending on whatever it is, it means that we will do less testing again, as we would normally expect. If the integrity of the system will determine the amount of test of detail. So this question starts off saying, which of the following statements is true? When looking at this, we've just discussed this, haven't we? The key point here is that test data, throwing things at the system, is used to test the effectiveness of the system. That's really here. Audit software is where we're actually looking at the data, right? In effect, audit software is doing this, testing calculations and manipulating data further. So the answer here is B. I already did 7 when I looked at 1, 3, and 4, didn't I? When I said that the use of test data, we were looking at that, at the integrity of the system there with that. Here, which must be, they're thinking about upgrading their revenue system. So in this time of upgrading, it's better to avoid the automation because we're talking about systems. So just the usual characteristic hands-on test of detail approaches would be better. So that makes sense. And of course, we do have standard off packages, and those are definitely, of course, 100% cheaper than a bespoke system. But you should in no way be part of the implementation of that system, and it is not quite true. It is unlikely that the audit will be cheaper. It doesn't really work. So A and B are your best answers. Number 9 here, the question is asking you to discuss what will be test of detail and what will be analytical. Hopefully you can pick up straight away that this calculation comparison with the previous year is analytical. Again, expectation seasonality again is analytical. So sometimes analytical does jump out. These are classic tests of detail, aren't you? Agreeing the revenue from the sales day book to the financial statements, just kind of part of your um, agreement, or if you like, existence, so to speak. Probably one of the first um, substantive procedures you'll carry out, if you like, before you actually start assessing the work in the sales daybook, because you're then going to go sales daybook to original documents. But just doing that first just confirms that. So that's a test of detail, and this is almost a sort of cutoff test, so to speak, and so that is a test of detail as well. Here it says you have an order that's been received and processed, but is not on the sales daybook. So the pieces of paper lying out there. So definitely, by virtue of the sales daybook agreeing with financial statements, it means that not everything is on the financial statements. And so this is a classic case of completeness. Classic case of completeness. Slightly unusual because sales is revenue, and we tend to test for overstatement, but we do also test for completeness. Okay, there we are. So that's 6 to 10.